I still remember the day we lost the house. Not because of a storm or an accident, but because of a signature that should never have existed. A piece of paper, a forged document, a lie that cost my father everything he worked for his entire life. I was 17 when I watched him stand on the porch one last time, keys in his hand, staring at the walls he built with his own sweat. He didn't cry. That hurt more than if he had. The house wasn't just wood and bricks, it was proof. Proof that an honest man could build something from nothing. And then, one day, it was gone. Taken by people who knew the system better than they knew morality. Lawyers, officials, men in clean suits who smiled politely while destroying us. They said it was legal. They said the papers were valid. And suddenly, we were strangers in our own neighborhood. I watched my father change after that. He became quieter, smaller somehow. Not weak, just tired. Tired of fighting a system designed to exhaust people like him. I wanted to scream. I wanted to confront them. But I saw something in his eyes that day. Resignation. And I promised myself something silently. I wouldn't fight the way he fought. I would fight the way they fought. I stayed quiet. I listened. I learned. I learned how property fraud works, how signatures disappear, how records get updated. I learned how reputations are protected, not by truth, but by silence. The people who took our house assumed the story was over. They assumed we would move on quietly, ashamed, defeated. They underestimated one thing. I was watching everything. Years passed. While they expanded their businesses and hosted charity events, I studied law, public records, and financial trails. I worked jobs no one noticed. I built connections slowly. I didn't rush, because revenge isn't about speed, it's about precision. Every document I read, every inconsistency I found, I stored away. I built a map of lies layered on top of each other. What shocked me wasn't just what they did to us, it was how many others they had done it to. Elderly couples, immigrant families, small business owners. Our house wasn't an isolated case, it was part of a system. And suddenly, this wasn't just personal anymore, it was bigger. I waited until the moment was right, until their name meant everything to them, until their reputation was their greatest shield. And then, quietly, I started pulling threads. Anonymous tips, carefully released documents, patterns exposed. Journalists love patterns, and once they saw it, they couldn't unsee it. At first, the accused denied everything. They called it coincidence, then mistakes, then misunderstandings. But the evidence didn't argue back, it just existed, and existence was enough. Their business partners began stepping away, their charity donors asked questions, their perfect image cracked in public, one article at a time. The day the story broke nationally, I sat beside my father in a small apartment we never planned to stay in this long. He read the headline slowly, then again. His hands trembled, not with anger, but disbelief. For the first time in years, I saw his shoulders relax. They never knew it was me. They still don't. To them, I'm invisible, just another name that never mattered. But their reputation, the thing they valued more than houses, more than people, was gone. And unlike a house, reputation doesn't get rebuilt easily. I didn't celebrate. I didn't smile. I just felt complete. Because justice doesn't always look like punishment. Sometimes it looks like balance. They took our house. I took the only thing they couldn't replace. And that's when I learned something important. Power doesn't belong to the loud. It belongs to the patient, to those willing to wait, to learn, to strike, without ever raising their voice. They took my father's house, I took their reputation, and the world finally saw who they really were.